What's going on, Tamers? Welcome to DigiPod, the digital podcast. I'm your boy Varney, and today I'm in the studio with my boys Dan and Mike, who happens to be joining us.
Special guest, Mike.
Welcome back, Mike. Long time no see.
Good to be back. It's been a minute again, actually.
Yeah.
I don't even. It's been a month, I think. It's been a while. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it's been a minute. I was traveling for work again, and then it's just been a weird.
I know you take your vacation every so often. You gotta get a couple pod episodes, then you go on your paid vacation. You know how it is.
My paid vacation. You guys pay me?
Wow.
Yeah, you look at all those One Piece cards you got. You get paid.
That ain't from you guys.
Anyways, today, let's see, what's the agenda for today? We're going to be talking about locals. Both Dan and I went. We're going to be talking about the future of TBLs and DGU. We're going to be talking about the reprint set. That's a pretty big topic. We wanted to talk about that, a month ago?
The last time I was on pod, I was like, the reprint set, that's a whole pod video. I'll talk about that next week.
Next week never happens.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to remember, but I don't know why I was on my again.
I don't know either, but we've got a lot of good topics for y'all today, so we'll jump right into it, starting off with our locals talk. I'll go first because I went to locals this week. The reason I went to locals is because the boy Greg is getting back into Digimon. Sakuyamon is his favorite Digimon, so he was very hyped to learn. He was very hyped to learn that Sakuya is actually a decent deck. Not just decent, it is a great deck.
Why is Sakuyamon your favorite Digimon?
You can ask him.
I would like Greg to answer that.
You can ask him that in DMs. But so he built like essentially call it the poor man's version of Sakuyamon because he's buying some stuff. He doesn't have ruin modes. He borrowed some cards from Gino, so he borrowed like the Volder arms and stuff. Greg didn't know why Sakuyamon was such a good deck until Gino showed him the Wombo combo. I'm gonna Digivolve into Sakuyamon, play an option, Digivolve into Sakuya X, play an option, play a token, Digivolve into Volder arm, get the unsuspend while I'm swinging 2 checks, and then because I unsuspended, swing 2 more checks, then swing my rush token, and then swing some other body that I had in raising for game combo. Obviously, if he had ruin mode, he'd be able to do the inverse with the controlling board and stuff. But he doesn't have it yet, nor do I think we should put him on that train for the sanity of us at locals.
Trying to, you're like, let's. So when you give the guy the meta deck, but you don't teach him how to play it
properly. You don't need to know all them combos just yet, Chief.
You're like, no, no, this is the best deck in the game. No, you don't want to play it that way. Varney, can I Digivolve this way? Can I use it? No, I don't think so.
No, absolutely not. No tokens, no tokens for you, buddy.
Yeah, no. This is Digimon. We don't use tokens.
So that's Greg. Greg did end up placing 4th. So congrats, Greg. You come back and you showed yourself some real good stats for coming back. As for me, I did poorly. I decided I was only playing Jank today, no matter what everybody else brought. And I was severely punished for that decision. Severely punished.
What did you play?
Mike, hold on, Mike. I need to Imperial players, bro. It never freaking fails. Why? Bro, literally, I kid you like not.
10 sets past.
I kid you not. Dan was sitting right across the table on the other side, and he watched our game, me and Jarrell, and I swung my innocent little rookie hoping to die because I needed a card back from trash, and guess what I hit on the first check? It was a ghost mod, yeah. Guess what I hit first check?
Daviskin.
Yep. As a matter of fact, first game, I hit the Davis. I gave him a search. Second game,
the old Davis.
Second game, I hit the Davis and Ken, and I was like, you know what? I wasn't meant to play this game today. All right, but let's go through the matchups. So yeah, I decided that I was only going to play Jank no matter what everybody brought today, and I was severely punished for it. I played Ghosties, I played Necromon, my own little. I mean, it's not like overly spicy. It's just the only way that I envision the deck can be sufficiently played right now. So I play the classic BT4 Anubismon that when a Digimon is played from your trash, you may give it Rush. And obviously, I play the one of Anubismon because cards craft. I play a Darktremon Ace and then Necromons. And then 8 total Tamers, 5 Violets, 3 Analog Youths. The rest of the deck is pretty simple and straightforward. So against Dan, Dan was playing Millie. He was my round 1. Gosh, Dan, you couldn't find anything in your game 1. Everything was at the bottom of your deck,
I went
wasn't
like
it?
30 cards and then did not find a Millennium Mod or some shit like that. It was something stupid.
Jeez.
It wasn't even security auto. I was like, hopefully it's security.
Exactly.
And then I can at least fish it back out with something. No. It didn't happen.
It was nowhere in sight. So game 1, I just ended up winging, just executing all the time. Game 2 was much harder fought. I would say that Dan probably had a misplay in which he went for a Moon Millie to try to get rid of some of my board presence with the Analog Youths instead of going for the Zed Millie, because if he put the Zed Millie on board, he would have bottom decked my Digimon and I wouldn't have gotten any on deletions. And he also would have just been uninteractable for me. Not that I necessarily cared about interacting with his board, because I don't care as long as you don't block her. I'm just trying to crash into security, die, and then do stuff. But he gave, what did you give me, like 9 memory?
For what?
Or is that for game 1? No, I think it was game 1 you gave me 9 memory.
Where, yeah, I think it was like I dropped. It might have been I dropped Millennium on for 10 or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember right now.
Something. I ended up with like a massive amount of memory, and I was able to kind of just like build up resources and then essentially go for game because of my Anubis. This is why I like that BT4 Anubis, because so I run, I guess the spicy tech is the one of Serb from BT17. It's the one that has the inheritable. When a Digimon is played from your trash by an effect, you can give it Rush. So essentially you can give 2 things Rush, which was nice because I think I scrambled out that Digimon and then I was able to Digivolve up, or maybe I played it doesn't matter. I Digivolved up into that Anubis. It was hard play? Okay. So I Digivolved up, scrambled into, oh yeah, that's right, because I played double scramble to get into the Anubis so I could keep turn. And then the Serb effect, I was able to give the Anubis Rush, and then Anubis gave something else Rush. So between those 2 and the Necromon, I think you had 1 security or 2 security. Doesn't matter. I had enough swings to swing past your blocker. So
oh no,
that was
what won me. Chimeramon into Machinimon. That's what it was. I remember now. Yeah.
Right. And then Dan was gonna block, and I was like, cool. Anubis is only 10k.
I needed the Machinimon to die.
Old Digimon stat lines. I know, that's exactly why I swung the Anubis. I was like, I'm not trying to give you a chance for this Machinimon to die.
Yeah.
Here, have this 10k Anubis. So I really like that Anubis. We need Rush in that deck, like direly. The Violets are really good, but realistically, whatever this third Violet does, it needs to be when a Digimon is played from your trash by an effect of one of your ghosts, so that you can try to archetype it as much as possible. Suspend this Tamer and give that Digimon Rush. I think that would make that deck infinitely better. Because man, it sucks when you play something out and you're like, oh cool, what's it called? What is his name? It is Necromon. Gosh. Yeah. My Necromon died. I spit out these 2 bodies and okay, what do I do now? I guess I'll just build something and try to do something next turn if I'm not deleted. Either that or give us a good Necro Ace. Something akin to the heavy metal. Not saying the exact heavy metal effect, but something where if you Digivolve it, I don't know, maybe play out like a level 4 lower body and then give all your Ghost Rush. Something to that nature. I don't know. That probably sounds too busted, but we need some
sounds too busted.
It does kind of sound buzz. We need more rush in the deck is what it boils down to. My game 2, I played against Ian, who was playing Magnamon Armors. I wasn't really afraid of the deck. The only thing that like I was afraid of was the starter deck Magnamon, because obviously bounce. I don't get my own deletions. Unfortunately, I just basically got armor rushed. He literally, he swung Magnamon, and then he had a Davis on board, raised the Digimon, swung Magnamon. That's 1 check. Swung the other Magnamon 2 checks. The one Magnamon didn't die, so he used Davis to armor purge it, Digivolve into another Magnamon, 3 checks, Magna X, end turn. And I was like, oh, I'm probably dead next turn because this deck is pure gas, all gas, no breaks. Yeah, I mean, I was like, well, let's hope we can survive. But unfortunately, that starter deck Magnamon doesn't let me keep bodies on board, so Darkja Ace really wasn't any help. Realistically, that's just a bad matchup because all you care about is your 2 aggro decks, but that's a low end aggro deck, and you're kind of a bigger setup aggro deck. So it is what it is. Lost that 0-2. And then I played against Jarrell, who made me regret my life as I do as I play against every Imperial player, because it never fails. Davis and Ken first check is always what loses you the game. Game 1, he played a Davis and Ken on his first turn, and I almost wrapped it up right there, but I said, no, I'll play it out. I raised, was trying to get something going because I couldn't see anything. Swung, hit that Davis first check. I was like, all right. He then proceeded to combo off next turn with the Pyodramon because he kept playing rookies. And I was like 3 scared. And I was like, all right, it's all right, bro. We can scoop. We've only played like 2 minutes of this match, but this match is only going to take like another 2 minutes. So we can just speed up time. Let's go to game 2. Go to game 2. I was like, all right, cool. We got off to no, actually, it was off to a horrible start. I showed Dan the hand. I had like 3 Necromons in hand. That was horrible. Davis again, first check. And I was like, oh. And then he started doing the combo again. I was like, all right, I'll just scoop again. I ain't got no work for this. And then I got the buy for round 4. So yeah, that's how my locals went. I went a solid 2-2, getting mollywopped against the meta deck. Necromon ain't it right now. It is officially binder bait again. It's going right back into binder till we get future support. No, that's me. How about you, Dan?
I had an eventful weekend. I also participated in a regional as well. We'll
that's
talk
right.
about
You
locals
did
first.
participate in the regional.
Since you talked about locals first, I played Millenniumon, as he mentioned. I played like dog crap that day, honestly. Went technically 1-3 because I had a bye. Ronnie already mentioned we played round 1. He played Necromon. I'm playing Millenniumon. He already explained what happened with that. So round 2, I played against. What did I play against? Oh, Gamamon.
Did you play against Greg?
No, that was round 4. I played against Gamamon.
Gotcha.
And man, I should have read his cards for him because he was looping something, and I was like, this does not seem right because I've played against Gamamon quite a bit. And I'm just like, this doesn't seem like this normally works. I feel like everybody I played against would have been doing this. But I kind of just let it slid by. I was like, whatever, sure. And, they have protection by removing sources. So it was a little hard to deal with. While he was looping something that was, again, shouldn't have been happening, which was with the Ghoulish Gamamon and something else. Then heritable is you play out the 4, but that's not the correct way. It has to be Gamon and name or something like that. Whatever it was, the combo you couldn't do what he was doing basically. I was like, all right, whatever. I ended up losing that, I think 2-0 as well because had some rough games as well. And then had a bye, and then round 4 was when I played Sakuyamon and I lost that as well. He saw everything game 1 and I saw absolutely nothing. Game 2, I saw everything. He saw nothing. Game 3, I saw nothing and he saw everything. There was no
we love those games.
There was no good back and forth games. It was just one person bricked hard and the other person had everything, and vice versa. And it's just such crappy way of losing and winning, in my opinion.
For sure. Right, because
It just
it's
feels
so
bad.
invalidating.
It feels
You're
bad.
like, I did the wombo combo, but my opponent couldn't play the game. So I don't necessarily feel great about the wombo combo because I don't feel like if my opponent saw the pieces, I would have been able to do the wombo combo.
Yeah. Because when we were playtesting prior, and I mean, it was before he like learned the deck, but he was still doing the stuff as well. It was like he wasn't doing anything. And I was like, and I'm seeing the pieces I needed, and so I was able to like play, and we were going back and forth, and they were good games. But like when we were in tournament play, it was terrible. My takeaway from that is that new option is a godsend, and it needs to be a 4 of no less than 4. Honestly, I had it at 2 because that's the only 2 I have right now. Hopefully, I think next week we'll be back to tournament kits, so hopefully I get 2 more. But man, that card, it's everything for that deck. Being able to pop your own Millennium on, set that card early, so when you do get your Millennium on, you could go into a Moon or a Zed off the rip. It's pretty goated, honestly. Obviously, trash on draw 2. Consistency, always great. And yeah, just getting into what you know. Also, the other issue is that I'm so used to going from, I guess, Millennium on to Moon into Zed. When I had the options to go to Zed, I'm like, but it's Moon. I got to do this first, type of thing. It's like I don't really need to do that first anymore. I can just skip around if I need to, and I think that was also throwing me off a little bit at times, because it's like, oh, now I can think about this and like overthinking the plays. Like, all right, just go Z, just bomb deck something, call it a day. He's unaffected. What are you going to do? Try to swing? You better be 16K or bigger, and stuff like that.
Right.
So, I was figuring that out a little bit, but a little too late. I definitely got to make a lot of tweaks to it because I was testing different eggs. And I like it, but I don't like it as well because the Gaza Gizas have to be 1-cost Evos.
Yep.
And for a non-Pagu. So I was trying out Cupimon just to have another way to gain another memory in a trash. Which it was good. That part was fantastic, honestly. It just, mitigate some of those big plays you have to do sometimes. Which again, it's good. Combo it with the Gazimon that has the inheritable of Unleashing gain a memory. So it was like 2 free memory essentially. So you can, not have to give 5. You can give them 3 instead or something, stuff like that. Was pretty good. But I got to figure something else. We need a new Pagu that says like on the lead gain a memory or something, just to give you a different style instead of just on the lead grab a 3 back, which is good because honestly, I kind of miss that sometimes in those games. I was getting I saw the 1 rookie and that was it. And I'm like, I wish I was able to have another way to get another rookie right now. And sometimes I couldn't. So definitely got to do some testing with it, see what ratios I like and what I don't like anymore with it. So, and then go from there when it comes to Millennium on. And then Saturday regionals. Another frustrating day for me as well. I played 64th in regional, which it's not, I guess technically it's not like the worst, but for me it's ass. I don't care about being 64th. I care about being minimum, I mean realistically first place, but this is a card game. So topping is what matters. So top 16 to me was matters. Man, I didn't get that. So I played Purple Hybrid, went back to regular Purple Hybrid, made a couple changes here and there. I was testing out. I tried that Violet in boots play tech. It was all right. It didn't come up enough for me to be like, this card is unnecessary for me as a one of. So we'll see moving forward. But yeah, my matches were crazy. I don't think anyone would believe what my first 3 rounds would be if I told them.
Hold on. So let me preface it with Dan went 1-1-1 in his first 3 rounds. Mike, if you had to take a guess, what decks did Dan play? Well, sorry, what deck or decks did Dan play to go 1-1-1?
1-1-1. One and one.
Yeah.
What a Dan fucking. What a Dan record, dude. Was one of them
Yeah,
Imperial?
for sure.
No,
One of them wasn't Imperial.
not in the first 3 rounds. I did play Imperial in the very last round though.
Okay. Let's see here.
It could be one deck.
One deck.
It could be one deck.
No shot. What deck?
Yeah. Royal Knights.
Oh no, I was thinking that, but I was like, "There's no way you went 1-1-1 all against Royal Knights." I was. I'm assuming the one guy you went 1-1-1 with, who you tied with, slow played the fuck out of you with Royal Knights.
Besides the first round, they were both really slow.
Did he count his Yggdrasil sources 100 times in the same
Bro,
turn?
that's every single Royal Knights play. It's
How
impressive.
annoying is that,
It's impressive.
bro?
Like,
Bro,
clearly you have 2.
There's no
Clearly you have
way.
3. Clearly you just killed a Magnamon because Magnamon is usually the number 1 play. Like, now you have 3 sources. Like, you can't do the math in your head with it, but whatever.
1, 2, 3, and then 2 seconds later, 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Gotta go through that rudimentary
They
math.
do that,
How many
bro. I'm
times you
just
gotta
like-
count just to remember
I'm
what
like,
the number is?
The craziest is like, you just, all right, like
My
you had
favorite,
Magnum.
they grab the play map, bro, and they go, and they count the memory gauge, and they put it down, and they go, and then they count the memory gauge again, and they go,
Yep,
wait
yep,
a minute.
yep.
Like, I'm like, bro, just play the fucking card.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, like you mentioned, that's not the, that's the, it's the funniest part about that, Mike. That's not the amount of Royal Knights I played in Saturdays. I played 4 in total. All right. Half my regionals run was Royal Knights. I was in the trenches. Okay.
That is fun.
So round 1, I'm gonna speed run through these real quick as much as possible, or at least I'll talk about the important points in my head at least.
The important
I couldn't-
points.
Gonna say words at that moment. Round 1, Royal Knights, like I mentioned, I won that one 2-0. Actually, I saw everything I needed. I was able to speed run him. He was a little
He
slow at
said,
the
I
gates,
told that guy to suck my
and so
expletive.
that one was too bad.
Not the expletive.
I'm not allowed to curse.
Round 2.
So late for
Round
that, buddy.
2, obviously, Royal Knights, since we already spoiled it. And that one was a draw. So game 1 lasted about probably 30 minutes. It was
I'll be
something
honest.
stupid long.
I don't mean to cut you off here, but it just genuinely, like, what is so hard about playing 1 card per turn? That is all you're doing with the deck. It's not like you are playing 1 card per turn, and then eventually, maybe
Couple.
you get to play 2 cards
Yeah,
per
right.
turn.
Exactly.
Like,
And usually it plays itself. You know what cards you're gonna play turn 0 anyways. You're either playing, if you're turn 0, you're playing a Magnamon or you're playing the option to searches. Like, let's be real. Like, ain't that hard. But anyways,
that's
all these Royal Knights players decide to be super spicy with the list. One of them had a Marcus Damon, the new Marcus. One of them was running Crimson Blaze. One was playing Queen Device. I'm just like, damn, they were out here waiting for my Psychmons to kill them immediately. I was like, all right, cool. And so I should have ran 4 Psychmons.
Hashtag ban Psychmon.
Who cares about Gazi? Who cares
Hashtag
about Gazi?
ban Psychmon.
Shut up.
I'll be honest. Yeah, I mean,
I hate running floodgates, but it's a necessary evil only because of Royal Knight's bum ass. So game 1 took 30 minutes, something like that. It was super long, grindy. He ended up misplaying at the end by swinging with the wrong Digimon at the wrong times, which ended up being in my favor because he decided to swing with all his blockers, and legitimately, my only play was hard slam Guilmon and have rush for game. And the moment he started swinging with everybody that was a blocker, I was like, I win. I don't care what happens. And I knew there was a chance to be a rivals, and that means he has Omnimon on board at this point. I was like, I'm killing an Omnimon. He swings with Magnamon first. It doesn't die or whatever. swings with a blocker token. Something happens. Swings a Jesmon, hits rivals, kill Omni. His turn stops, and now it just goes. I draw my last pathetic card and hard slam Guilmon for game. And then that's legit. That was hilarious the way it ended. And then game 2, I didn't know he had this, but this man was running the fire rockets. So he speed ran me. He got Omni X
Gallon
early.
X too? Oh, he went Omni X. Oof.
He
yeah, that's a big oof.
This is why if anything were to get hit, it's Purge. My man's went Purge out Omni X for free. I'm like, great. And then he goes Fire Rocket. I was like, ain't no way. I was like, wait, what was I saying again? 2 or more colors? Fuck. Oh, excuse me. Hey, editor, you gotta, snip that real quick. But anyways,
let it be known that I haven't dropped anything yet. I'm as clean as a...
I haven't technically didn't drop anything either, bro. I stopped myself. I said expletive. I said suck my expletive.
Hey, yeah. Anyways,
also, I like to say I can't be faulted for this. I just spent a month watching The Sopranos, bro. You don't even understand the words like "earn my brain."
Oh my god,
slurs, everything, but you don't even get it.
So, move forward. So my man's went Omni X 2 checks, and then did something else, and then it goes and it turned 2 checks. Nothing. My security. I was like, scoop, because like what we doing with this?
That's pretty nasty.
And I couldn't do anything. I mean, I tried to play it out. I had to win that next turn, and I just didn't have enough to win. Because he was just dropping Mechamon blocker and yada yada yada. Game 3, we went into tie. He was about. I ain't gonna lie. My man might have been able to win that turn if he kept swinging out, and then legit judge came in there like stop. I was like, all right, whatever. I did check my last security because I was curious. It was rivals. I was like, oh, I lived. I would have lived because he went full blast. I was like, I had everything in my hand to like combo next turn too. It was great. But so that was a tie. Then the third round, Royal Knights. I lost that one. I might have lost.
You lost against Royal Knights?
Yeah, I know.
Yeesh.
Yep. My man's had everything. I think that was the Crimson Blaze one. I don't remember right now. I was just like, because I had like Ghazi and Psychmon on board, and my man's went Crimson Blaze. I was like, ain't no way. This is not real life right now. And he was the good player. He was actually a good player. He was 8th place, I think it was, in this regional. I don't remember if I won that one if I lost that one 2-1 or 2-0 at the moment. I feel like it was 2-1 because I think all my matches went 3 rounds. That I lost at least. After that, I was like, all right, cool. We're 1-1-1. We still got a good chance of making top 16. That's all that matters. Next round, I played against Adventure. I 2-0'd Adventure pretty easily. I was just way too fast for them. For what they wanted to do, I guess. I don't know. Round 5, I played against RIP Hybrid. It was hilarious. It was hilarious to see Reprint Hybrid pop up. At first, I wasn't sure what he was playing because he searched and grabbed a Dino Beamon. I was like, why would anyone run Dino Beamons? And he has Ukos and like Gatsumon. I was like so confused. And then I hit security and hit a Koichi. I was like, here we are. I see where we're going. I still don't know why he was running the Dino Beamon, but okay. And so I won that 2-0. I know the weaknesses of that deck. I know the strengths of it. I know that if you don't have a mem setter, if you're not running a mem setter or anything like that, I put you to 1. You're not doing much if you don't have the memory gaining Koichi. Which he did in one of the games, but it just wasn't enough. And then next round, I played against my 4th Royal Knights player. And I won game 1. Pretty fast. Game 2 was a little longer. He ended up getting that one. And then game 3 in overtime, I took the whole 5 minutes of overtime in my last turn. I ball controlled. I played ball control, not even on purpose. I had to go for game that turn, basically, which was me mill him out because I knew I was going to lose next turn. And he had 23 cards, and I had so much resources. I knew I was able to do it. and he gave me 6 colors to work with basically. And because he had triple Cool Boy on board with a Magnamon, a Jessamon, an Alphamon, and something else, I'm like, all right, let me make sure I kill your Alphamon first because I don't need you gaining a memory, and I'm gonna still mill you out. And that's essentially what happened. And then I legit, almost right at the end, I went calling. I dropped Velgar. I go for game because that milled 5. He was at 5 because I kept milling from 23, 6, and he drew a couple times too. Alpha made him recover. He drew off for something, and then me milling him another like 6, 6, and then 5, something like that, and ended up being game, whatever the number was, which is pretty cool. Got that, and then I'm feeling great. 2 more rounds, we're good, we're fine. And then I run to Sukuyamon. I run into Sukuyamon with a full brick of hands. I watch my mans. I open my hand with at first I was like, all right, it's not too bad. I open a rookie. I open double hybrids. It was like Dusk and Velgar, and then 2 rivals. I'm like, all right, let's hope we draw something good off the Psychmon. I draw another rookie. No, it was a Gabu. Then I draw a rookie. I drew Psychmon, hard play Psychmon, and I go following turn. I'm like, all right, I'm all right. I think I'm in a good position. I go into the Dustmon. He didn't have anything really to mill, but we were able to kind of like made a mistake a little bit here. I couldn't get Velgramon in the trash, so I took hard evil for 1, and I put him to 1. And then he went full combo into ruin mode. I'm like, all right, cool. We're rivals. Well, I drew nothing. Rivals, the ruin mode. He makes another stack of another ruin mode. I go rivals again. And then I keep drawing, and I'm drawing nothing at this point. And he starts attacking my security, and there's nothing in there. Like no tamers, no nothing. I'm just like, this is fantastic. This is great. And I legit all I needed was like 1 card. All I needed was a tamer or something. Because my man's decked himself out. If I was able to force the deck out, I just win. Legit. My man's at the final turn, prior to the final turn, he had like 2, 3 cards left in his deck. You told me I can't mill out 2, 3 cards? Come on. Like, I was sick about that shit. So mad. And so, ended up losing. I'm like, all right, whatever. Game 2, let's go game 2. And the hand was even worse than it was the first one. And it was super unplayable. Couldn't do anything. And he just goes full combo Velgar, Sukui combos. I'm just like, great. Fantastic. I love not being able to play the game. And then final round I played against Imperial. I already crashed out. I almost didn't care. I found out a little later though. 17 to 20 had a really good chance of getting the invites. And supposedly they did. And so maybe I should have really like put a little more effort into it, but I was just like, it's Imperial. And same to Varney. I hit into Davis Kemp first check, and I mentally crashed out. I was like, ain't no way this is happening. Ain't no way this is just not real life. This is not real life. What is this garbage? You know, that I was already like fails. I was right tilted. It was over, and I just lost it. I was like, no, it is what it is.
That's a valid crash out.
Because I was
anytime it's
done.
Davidson Ked versus check.
I was done with the Sakura because it's like, just give me something. Just give me 1 card that I could like legit play. Give me a rookie to Evo. Give me something. I just couldn't get it out of it. And that was like, it sent me over the edge. I was like, this is not real life. And then once I got to the Imperial match, ironically, did I win a match? I don't remember if I did. I did win a game somehow. I don't know how. He was trying to bluff IPM, and I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna keep swinging. And he never had IPM ace, so I was like, all right, I guess we're going to game 3. And then game 3, he God stacked the shit out of me. It was bad. I was like, sheesh. I couldn't do anything. My man's went to starter deck, dragon mode, playing him out, swing. I'm like, yeah, got it, Chief. Good on you.
It never fails.
Nope.
This is a message to all the non-Imperial players out there. I am not an Imperial player, but I can tell you from firsthand experience that if I were actually trying to hit Imperial and not whatever happened on the last ban, the only card that is going to get hit, not to 1, but to 0, is going to be that goddamn Davis Motomiya and Ken Ichijoji tamer, because there is no other tamer in the game that pisses me off to such an extent where when I see it come out of security, I'm just like, man, I've lost this game. This game is, my chances of winning this game went from like 50-50 to like 70-30. Like,
well,
100%.
I have bad news for you, as they've remade the tamer for Omnimon.
You know what?
I do feel like the chances of Davis and Ken being hit now are fucking 0 at this point.
You know what? I'm fine with Omnimon. Because you know what? It restricts you to only play if you don't it's either if you don't have a Digimon or if you don't have, or if you have 1 or fewer.
It's 1 or fewer.
It's a nice little restriction. Yeah, that's nice. Because when I hit Davis and Ken against Jarrell, he had a Digimon in raising, and then he had another Davis and Ken. So he raised and then played out a searcher and then played out another searcher. And I was like,
hey, they get bounced back the hand at the end of the turn, dude.
It don't matter when you DNA.
Ooh.
They get
just replay it again.
It's such a dumb like condition. It's like, oh, you bounce it back at the end of the turn. So who cares? You're going DNA as a new Digimon. You're not losing that DNA Pyodramon, you know?
Remember when DNA came out and I was like, why can this swing? And at the time it was like, it was okay because like,
and it was free.
Because it was like, all right, like, and it was free, but we were like, all right, I mean, it's okay because, you know, because Imperial and Masty were the first DNA decks. Obviously, Imperial was the better one. It's like, all right, well, you do need to actually legitimately build to a level 3 and a level 4, or maybe you can hard slam one, but you still have to pay some cost. And if you can keep turn, cool. If they weren't, I mean, HPD should have been banned from a long time ago. But if they weren't abusing HPD back during that meta, I don't think it would have been as bad. It was just stupid that they could do HPD into Dragon Mode and then just do it all again. Why is HPD still at 1?
They still
I always
doing
had a good time doing that, so I don't really understand what the issue is. Have you guys tried
HPD
just playing the deck instead?
to 0?
No, I don't want to. I played against Imperial so much. I don't need to play to know how to play the deck verbatim.
Exactly.
Verbatim, I mean. My God.
If it is the one deck I could entirely make a complete like deck combo guide, not having any of the cards at all. I can tell you every combo right off the head.
I can make a complete deck combo guide for it, and I haven't played it in almost 7 months now. I sold it 7 months ago. I haven't played it since. I still remember every single line you could do with that deck.
I mean, there's only one main line to it. It doesn't take a rock science to play the deck.
Blah, blah, blah.
All right,
blah.
Mike, what's your top 3 hated decks of Digimon of all time?
Of all time?
Of all time, top 3 hated decks.
Number 1 top hated deck of all time, Gabubon. Absolutely. That deck was absolutely Gabubon. After that, honestly, it gets a little... I don't know if I've ever hated a deck the way I've hated Gabubon. So after that, it gets a little like... There's just decks I don't like, you know?
Right. All right, so what are 2 decks you don't like?
Well, I have to think about how angry I've been throughout all of the formats.
Is Beelzemon up there?
No, I feel
like Beelzemon tilts you.
Beelzemon made me mad.
Or is it Mark that tilts you?
No, it was neither. It was Beelzemon made me mad because I was playing Hunters a lot during that format, and Beelzemon at full power just absolute fucking shit all over Hunter because they just set up way before you could set up. But I was
Right.
more always just impressed with the speed of how fast I was getting fucked by that deck than anything. I wasn't mad it was happening. I was just impressed how fast I was going to lose.
I was never mad about Beelzemon either. That's
Yeah,
not
I
a
was
thing
just
that,
like,
it's just like it was one of those things where you start seeing it steamroll and you just go, all right, let me just put my hand down and just see if I just died. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Because that was before we had ace play or anything. We had no interaction.
yeah.
So that was just like, okay, do I lose this? Am I just dead right now? Did they high roll me with fucking full powered Beals? So that never really bothered me, I don't think. Probably Mirage in general. Galaxy, you could combine them into two. They're the same
Insert
fucking
Mirage
bullshit.
adjacent deck here.
Yeah,
Right.
like that's probably just an annoying one because that was one where even if you were doing the right thing, it didn't matter because you were just punished because you drew a card.
Yeah,
Like it was
that's a
like,
fact.
what were you supposed to do? Like, so that was
Oops.
always frustrating.
I'm sorry for playing the game.
Yeah, and even if you were like. Always, by the way, like there was never a point where I thought Mirage was like this is a fair thing because even when it first came out and it wasn't that great, I was like, this is still annoying that I'm being punished for drawing. After that, I don't know. There's just a lot of decks I didn't like, but there's only one I think I really hated. That was Gabu. Oh, probably. When I first started playing the game, it would have been security control, I think.
Yeah.
I just
Second, the OG menace.
Yeah. When I first started playing, and you were the one playing it, so you're a scumbag. But it was a very like when you like,
Sounds
and this
about
is
right.
like a long time ago, security control too, like 4 years ago at this point, plus, So this is back when there weren't really good counters to it. If you weren't playing like a deck that could go wide enough to deal with it or something. And at that time I was playing like single stack decks. So it was like, oh, I just die every turn, no matter what I do. So that sucked a lot. So probably security control. And then after that, like I said, just a bunch of things I hated, but like not hated, but like just didn't like. Like, I never really hated Nume, but I hated the combo they could do with Nume where like there's just certain things decks could do that I was like, this fucking sucks. Like, what do you do about it? So that's probably where I'd be at. But Gabubon for sure, because that deck was just really frustrating to play against because that was a format where it actually mattered that you could bounce level like low level bodies, and like now probably doesn't matter so much because you can rebuild so fast. But back then, that was like, wow, I've just absolutely been fucking shit on.
For sure.
And secret, honestly, fourth contender, Rookie Rush.
See, now it's all coming out. Now you're like, you know what? As I think about it,
Well, yeah, because there's just like nowadays, like there's decks that really suck to play against. Like Sakuyamon is fucking annoying to play against. Like that's just an annoying deck. Royal Knight's an annoying deck to play against. Like there are a lot of decks I don't like playing against, but I feel like you have more options at this point in the game. Like
For sure.
it never like I always feel like as long as I'm not getting OTK'd, which a lot of these decks can do, I always feel like at least I have a chance to like rebuild my board or do something. Back then it was like absolutely fucking devastating if anything happened. You had no counterplay and you were just like, this fucking sucks. And even now, like we have decks that do like Rookie Rush-esque things, right? But we have so much counterplay to Rookie Rush. So it doesn't fucking like, who cares, right? Like we have a million cards that say hold my expletive.
you might as well say it at this point, bro. It's been like at least like eight bombs, John.
But yeah, that's how I feel. Like I don't know.
How about you, Dan?
My hated decks?
Top 3 hated decks of all time.
That's a tough one. I feel like I feel like I'm starting to hate more decks now than I have in the past.
I need to interject. I need to take my turn back. I'm so sorry, Dan. I need to just take my turn back real quick. And this actually has nothing to even do with Alphamon when it was at full power.
Oh, right.
But Alphamon, when it was played by a certain someone at our locals who would just randomly fucking win. This is such fuck. And then he would complain about any other deck ever
that did anything to him.
That did anything, right? But this dude could just high roll you with Alphamon and be like, ooh, sorry. Gained a million.
I remember when I played Black or Greymon against him and I popped his Cool Boys. How frustrating. He was like, how does every deck have a counter to mine? And I'm just like, bro, you're playing the best deck in the format. I'm not trying to hear anything. And then I go Omnimon. And then, more freak out after that. Yeah. At that time.
I think I'll concede on that though. Daniel, your go.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know. I can't say I'm not gonna give you 3. I'm gonna give you probably multiple, more than 3. Alphamon, Melga, Mirage, Taki. Now it's gonna be Sakuya. Let's see. Let's see. Those are probably it right now that I could think of. Those are the ones that always come to me off red first. I'm just like, I know people hate Magnamon X, but I never hated it. What I hated Magna X was always the starter deck Magnamon because it's always insecurity and it never fails.
I'm kind of with you on that, Dan. Oh, Dan took off his headphones. I'll speak for Dan real quick. I hate that card too because I know that if I played that deck, the Magnamon would not be in my security.
Bro, literally. So when I was playing Necromon, I didn't have any rookies in hand. And was I playing against... I must have been playing against Jarrell with Imperial because I was like, man, I wish I could see a rookie. And he goes first check at security. It's a rookie. And I'm like it never fails. For me, my curse is not seeing rookies in hand. And then the second curse is then not seeing my security option stuff in security, even though I play a high volume of them. It's why I liked my Magna build back during BT, whenever I was playing like BT 16, BT 17, BT 15, BT 16, I should say, because I was like, all right, cool bet. 20 of these cards, security effects, right, baby. Something's gonna be in security.
That's prices averted. Anyways, so what was I saying before?
Magnamon.
Yes.
Starter deck.
I don't even have a problem with Magna X. It's Magnamon, the starter deck, because it's like, why does it have all these effects of security and Digivolve? And then you can evolve on top of a V. It doesn't even have to be a Vmon technically. It could just be whatever rookie you have on board as blue or
I have Digivolved it on a Gomamon.
I've done it over Armadillomon before. and then you get the one Digivolve effect afterwards. It's like, what? That's something that I dislike about in Magna X. And I don't even have a problem with Magna X as much. What else? I'm trying to think. Those are probably my most hated decks, the ones I just named off for it, because those are the ones that just come to me instantly. That I'm like, I hated that. This conversation made me go look at all of the cards that are currently on the ban list. And I was like, what are the decks that I forgot about? Peak Blue Hybrid.
Yep.
I was thinking about it, but like, I don't hate it as much as probably like other people for some reason though.
I hate that deck. Not nearly as much as Gabumon.
You know what's starting. What's low key starting to become a higher up number for like hatred for me. That's like it wasn't there prior, but it starts to slowly climb up now, and that's Royal Knights. Yeah, I think it's just because like the amount of Royal Knights I've been playing against is like, it's to me, I just find it so dumb that you're able to do like purge, put Omni X underneath it, and then you go next turn play it out for free. Like that was some design flaws on that card right there. That shit is crazy to me. And it's just like, all right, like that's just dumb as hell right there to be able to do all that shit.
Yeah,
right there.
I'm with you. It's kind of funny when I think about like this game's history and like where we're at now and what I would like. The decks we have now are so much stronger and more broken than probably the decks that I hate the most at this point.
Oh yeah,
it's really funny because like again, like let's talk about Kabumon. I hated that deck so much because when it was at its peak, it had fucking Ice Wall too. So
oh my goodness, yeah, Ice Wall at 4.
Everything. Yeah, and like so
4 Ice Wall, 4 Hammer Spark.
Yep, and you think about that, and you're like, that was crazy. But then you think about like again, I named Mirage as one of the decks I hate. Think about what Mirage was doing, and I still hate Kabumon more than I hated Mirage.
So my top 3, spoiler, it's all blue decks. Blue is my most hated color in this game because blue is the color that has absolutely no care for anything that you're doing. It is, I mean, honestly, like I know purple like runs the show right now. There's like a lot of good purple decks, but blue is the best color hands down. It is the most consistent color. It has access to the best generic boss monsters. And because it's blue, in other words, because it's like a pro tag color, because blue, it's one of the 2 primary colors next to red, it gets access to some stupid shit like Omniacs. So my number 1 hated deck of all time, it's Imperial for me, because that deck has been terrorizing me since I started.
Oh yeah, Imperial. I don't know why I didn't say Imperial.
Imperial's my number 1, and it's every iteration of Imperial. I have lived through 3 iterations of this fucking deck. 3 iterations. I have seen straight up, I'm going to Digivolve into XVmon, swing jamming, Digivolve Pyojimon, unsuspend, swing jamming again.
5.
I was about to say,
yeah,
1,
because
2,
BT4 Imperial.
Yeah, right.
When they went,
then we got EX1 support.
When they went
I
one
count
stack,
those as the
unsuspend, swing, unsuspend, jamming, and it just kept going. It was the same shit.
Yeah, because yeah, that was the OG stack, and the reason I hated it is because my deck at the time was Megazoo, which was cool until you get this little fucking big-headed Vmon that says jamming, taking out my damn 12Ks in security, and then they Digivolve XV Pyojimon, unsuspend, swing jamming twice, then they Digivolve into the Dragon mode, unsuspend, swing jamming 2 more times. I hate it.
That was still my all-time favorite way to play Imperial.
Yeah, because you were just a brainless, I'm just going to swing every chance I get. If it tells me to unsuspend, it's turning sideways again.
You were just a brainless, bro. You were playing Megazoo. You act like there was a thought process to that. And
yeah, it's called which one am I slamming down, baby? And it ain't no different now. It's which Raw Night are we slamming down?
This guy, this fucking guy.
As much Imperial, as things change, a lot of things still to stay the same.
Right, exactly. There was that Imperial, and then we got freaking starter deck, the very first DNA Imperial, which had stupid bottom deck 6K or less, which was stupid. It should have been bottom deck of 5K or less, because we were in a blocker, like we still played blockers. Blockers were relevant at that time. But then Imperial came around and said, your blockers are irrelevant because you're just going to bottom deck all the 6K blockers. I was like, oh, thanks. I guess I won't defend myself, and I'll just let my
days of one drop of 1 to Digivolve blockers.
Yeah, exactly.
Good times.
And now those days are gone because Imperial started the wave, and now because I don't count the BT12 support because the deck didn't really do anything much. Now we get this freaking monstrosity of Davis and Ken with every tool under the sun.
To be fair,
you know what also I hate? I just like had to add to it real quick the list. And it's not because of one player. It's Red Hybrid. Because it took absolutely no skill, and just like I watch you complain about certain things. And it takes absolutely no skill. You win 5 checks, 1 swing. Congrats.
Same reason I hate Alphamon, bro. Same person.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Also,
What were you gonna say,
to
Mike?
your point about Paldramon, and it should have been 5K less. All of the one to Digivolve blockers were 5Ks.
I know.
So it would
But I
have
would
been
have been okay.
two-cost ones.
No, but I would have been okay if we still could have, if it would have justified running 2-cost blocker, the 2-cost Digivolve blockers, because those were all 6K.
Yeah, those ones suck.
No, they saw play before like the 1-cost came out, because obviously you like the cheaper Evo, but then Paldramon just came around and said, any level 4 you put on board, baby, they out of here.
Hey, at least you had to. For anyone that didn't play that long, like back in those days, that 1 to Evo blocker, which like changed the game. If you swung with it, you lost 2 memory.
Yeah,
That is true. I think both of them you lost 2
No,
memory.
they
Right?
both had that. Yeah,
They both had it. Yeah, they both had it. If you like one attacking, lose 2 memory.
Yeah, I like that.
That
was
crazy.
That was like such a core game mechanic that kind of got lost at the time once we started getting removal on all these like level 5 bodies, which is unfortunate. Like everything like bigger can have blocker, but like it's something that's lost to the time of the game. So Imperial, number 1 hated deck of all time for me, hands down, no questions asked. My number 2 hated deck is also Mike's. It's Gobblebond, because at the time I was playing Diaborolon, and I had a very good matchup into Gobblebond, except when I got like not even double, I got triple Ice Wall, and I was like, I literally win next turn, but now I don't, because the moment I can't even generate a token, because I think I was running that old the very classic Diaboromon that on swing you get to make a token. I was like, I can't even run that, because if I swing, I'm gonna lose 6 memory. Now my turn's over. Like, no. The reason I played Diaboromon was because of Gobblebond, because I was like, I can't play any other deck, because they're just gonna get rid of everything on my board at the blink of an eye. And back then, good luck rebuilding
Because
if you get Gobblebond.
The point
dude.
was that you go into the Infomon, you chill on there and watch them spend extra memory to go into the Gobblebond and end their turn.
Yeah, exactly. But even then, Gobblebond just had an answer, and I was just like, there's just no way. There's just no way. So Gobblebond, second hated deck of all time. And yeah, my third deck, I do hate Mirage a lot. All right. I'm going to preface this with, I do hate Mirage, but you know what I hate even more than Mirage? Fucking Melga. And you know why I hate Melga? You guys hate Melga because of a certain player. I hate Melga because of a certain other.
That's what came up to my head too.
Because it was so Red Hybrid, brainless 5 checks. Melga, brainless 5 checks. Oops. Did I hit something bigger than me? Teehee, Purge Source. I'll keep swinging. And you just get OTK'd. And again, like Mike said, that was before Aces. So it just happened out of nowhere. Like, I was fine with the Grandis OTK. I was fine with the War Greymon OTK. Do we have any other OTKs other than those 3 decks? Like
Alphamon, but Alphamon got hit first before the
I was
others.
fine with the Alphamon OTK, but you know what matchup I hated as Alphamon? Melga. Hated it.
Yeah, because they were bouncing your stuff as well at the same time.
Hated everything about it. I hate Melga.
Took their sweet ass time hitting that.
Yup.
They do that with all blue decks, bro. They take forever. Look at how long Mirage lived for, bro.
For no reason.
Melga lived for a long time too, though. Like a long time.
Yeah. And Melga was just like, Melga was one of those decks. So just like Gobblebond and just like freaking Imperial, like it has all the tools to deal with you, which was just like, why? Because even Mirage, like I wasn't entirely upset about Mirage, because Mirage, when it was just Mirage OTK, was like, all right, I mean, it is what it is. When Mirage started getting stupid and playing like in Galaxy and playing Hex, then it was like, all right, now we're getting out of hand. But when it was just Mirage, it's like, all right, I mean, I guess you'll just put all these cards in my hand and then you'll try to go for an OTK turn. That's fine. It is what it is. But Melga was just like, all right, cool. So I'm going to Digivolve, bounce your level 4 because of where Guru X. Digivolve again. Now I'm going to You're playing something with an on deletion, bottom decked. I'm gonna gain memory, keep turn, go into Melga X, unsuspend, bottom deck your lowest level. Oops, I cleared that level 4. So now your level 6 is the only thing on field. So I get to remove a 4 and a 6. I'm still gonna keep swinging. And now I've got blocker in case you want to attack me next turn, or I've got Blitz Omni in hand. I can just go for game. Or the penultimate combo, or that's not the right way to use that word. I'm sorry. So Mark, scratch that. But the ultimate combo was, all right, cool. Swing Melga X antibody underneath. You're going to Digivolve, or no, you Digivolve into Blitz Omni. Then you swing at security, and then you use X antibody, go into the Omni X, look at security, you bottom deck the X antibody, you get rid of a security. Now you have no security left, Omni X, swing for game. All that in a matter of one turn. I was like, how do you guys generate so much card advantage? There's no way you see this line every single game.
Are you forgetting what those inheritables said, bro?
Yeah,
draw.
They said draw, baby. Draw.
I was like, this
I
is
think it's the
insane.
promo guru, right? That's just a free draw one.
Yep.
Yeah.
For no reason. Yeah, I remember I played that deck one time at locals, and I said, "This is fucking stupid." I never played it again.
Mind you, you also top too, yeah, or you won.
I won the entire. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not playing." I was like, I'm not playing.
This is too good for me.
Yeah, I did. I was like, I'm not playing this anymore. That was like I was like, this is so easy.
This is easier than I want it to be. I'm trying to work for my win a little bit.
Yeah, that was crazy, man.
Yeah, that's my top 3 hated of all time. I can't stand those 3 decks, man.
Yeah, that's so funny because you named Grandis, but I never cared that Grandis was going to OTK me.
Same.
Like, I was always like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I never. It would never.
And the same thing with War Gray. I was like, all right, cool. Have fun.
It's because I knew that those decks could absolutely fucking brick, but Melga couldn't. Melga was like almost impossible to brick with because you didn't need your whole line to pop off with, and that was the issue. Like I think that that's still a valid reason why some decks are just better than others, even in today's game. If you don't need to see fucking 10 pieces compared to seeing 5 or 6 pieces, like obviously you're just better.
Yeah, for sure.
So
that's why I'm now a single brain player. I play red hybrid because you know what? All I need to see is my Tamer and a hybrid, baby. Tamer and a hybrid. I'm going at security. Don't matter what happened afterwards.
That's why I say I think it was in the last pod, right? Vardy, we were talking about like the comparisons between the top 3-4 decks, where reason why there's a lot of Digimon players because it takes a lot less resources to build a stack of your combo.
I think that was on the tier list actually, which you guys should have seen by the time that this video drops.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Same concept with that, right? Melga, you didn't care. You just needed to see. Realistically, the only piece you needed to see was the promo Werguru, which is the second type +1.
Stupidity.
That's like so dumb.
Hate that stuff. Anyways, let's talk about the future of TBL. So thank you guys for the suggestions, everybody who said what we can do, what we can try. Realistically, we decided that we kind of had it set in stone from the onset. We were probably going to do away with Wednesday tournaments, and that is the case. We are going to be doing away with Wednesday tournaments. For now, we are just going to be moving forward with Friday tournaments. We'll see how it goes over time. What we're going to do is we're going to have it stay as $10 entry. You get pack, participation pack. I'm not buying any more tournament packs. So unfortunately, when we get TP3, you guys are still going to be getting TP2 because I still have a ton of them and they're not cheap. So we're going to use up all of those till we run out. Once we run out of packs, we're going to drop the pricing. We're going to drop entry cost down to $5, and the pricing will also be cut in half, essentially. So we'll still be hosting the tournament. You guys can still be able to play, but just a little bit less of an emphasis on everything that we've been doing with it. We're going to shift focus. Wednesdays, we're going to try to play maybe do a Cyber Sleuth playthrough. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I was going to start it on my own. I did start it on my own, but somebody, I can't remember who exactly it was, so I apologize that I'm forgetting who you are, but they gave us a very good YouTube comment that said, what Dan and I should do is play the game and then every few chapters have rival battles and do some PvP. So we will be doing that, but I got to get caught up to Dan first because Dan is a little bit further ahead of me. So I have to restart the game on my Switch now. So once I do that, check out Wednesdays. Maybe we'll be streaming some Cyber Sleuth playthroughs. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. With that being said, let's move on to our main topic. This is one Mike wanted to talk about. We just said it earlier. It's reprint sets. Digimon during, what was it? Digimon Day or whatever it was, whatever the keynote was. I can't remember. They announced we are going to be getting a reprint set with absolutely no other information about this reprint set. However, One Piece has had, Mike, have they had 2 reprint sets, or is it 1 and they're getting a second? It is 2.
It's
okay.
1 and they're getting their second.
Okay. So One Piece had a reprint set, very successful reprint set, and they're getting their second one. No other game has had one, nor have they needed one. In Dragon Ball, they don't really do reprint sets. Things just come out, like whether it's a P Bandai product or some sort of like special sort of product that comes out not through the P Bandai channel and it just goes right to the stores. That's basically how they get their reprints. So yeah, reprints are kind of a new thing for Bandai games, in my opinion. The reprint sets, I mean. I am hoping that they looked at the success of One Piece and that they're taking notes from One Piece. But Mike is the One Piece player here, so Mike can elaborate. Go ahead, Mike. The floor is yours.
So personally, what I would like to see for Digimon is they need to just legit go and reprint every money card right now. Like that's it. That's the best way to do it. That's what One Piece has been doing. It has not like killed the game. People
cards are still expensive, actually.
Some cards are still very expensive. Yeah, if anything, it's just made the game more accessible to more players. And I think that's something Bandai is going to want to start doing, especially as they're ramping up their like a digital sim for Digimon as well, right? Like you want to generate hype, you want cards to be accessible for people to get. If a new player is coming to this game, obviously they're not going to be opening fucking ruin modes right now, right? It's not happening. So a reprint set is perfect at this stage and for Bandai and Digimon, right? They can go OmniX. That's a great super rare to reprint. That is a $40 super rare. That is a fantastic. Like I'm talking any expensive super rare. Any like they need to just go back and reprint cards that actually matter, and they can't take their sweet ass time doing it like they did with RBO1. And they, in my opinion, they should not call this RBO2. Or, well, technically there was RBO2 already, right?
No.
But we didn't get it. I thought that there was an RBO2, but we just didn't get it.
No, all of everything that we've been getting have been LMs. Yeah.
Okay. So they need to just not call it RBO2, in my opinion, because if they do that, I don't think card shops are going to want to buy them. Because RBO1, for those that don't know, was a fucking disaster. It was a legit like financial disaster for card stores. They had brought all this product of RBO1, like a ton of it, and they just could not sell it because the reprints were cards that just did not matter at that point in the game. They were reprinting cards from like BT1 that were just not ever going to see play. And the issue with that is because it was before we were unified. So Japan had gotten the set when those cards actually kind of mattered for reprints. By the time it got to us, it was just a complete fucking dud, which caused a lot of issues. So the way to do it right this time is they need to just look at the top decks that are topping tournaments. Obviously, I don't think Bandai will go look at a secondary market. I'm sure that they have people that do that, but Bandai as a card company shouldn't care about secondary markets, but they should go look at the top decks and be like, oh, this secret rare is getting a lot of play. Let's reprint this. Oh, this super rare is getting a lot of play. Let's reprint this. Like they need to reprint the cards that matter that are expensive. That's what One Piece has been doing, and it's fantastic. One Piece went so far, the first reprint set, I don't know if we're getting it the second, when the first reprint set, they reprinted the fucking chase cards. They reprinted mangas, dude. And
you know what's crazy about the chase cards? Those are still expensive cards too.
They've only gone up. Everyone was so afraid of
what it would do to the collector
their
market.
Cards are losing money. Our cards are not going to be as much. A whole bunch. Everyone was freaking out. No, it did nothing. It did nothing to the fucking collector market. It honestly made it more fun, and it sold out so fast because they made God packs, so you could legit pull a pack that had every single manga in it. So Pokemon does the same thing with their God packs. They have like the Umbreon, the Eevee Evolution packs, whatever, that are God packs, whatever. So it just basically makes it a chase set. People are gonna want to buy this. It sold so well, and I think that's exactly what Digimon needs to do. Not that their sets aren't selling well, because they are, but I think that just total reprints, and yeah, those cards are gonna be worth a lot less money. But it's totally. I think it's such a good thing for the game. When the first reprint set happened for One Piece, they were reprinting secret rares that were like $80 a piece.
Yep.
And you know what? It was probably one of the best things that ever happened to the game, because the game was getting so expensive that I think people were like not even like new players were not trying to play it.
It was legitimately impossible, because like, so let's basically, Mike, when exactly did the reprint booster come out? Do you remember?
It came out right after EBO 1, I want to say. So maybe a year and a half ago, maybe, right?
Let me see if I can find EBO.
Because EBO 1 came out and then it was the reprint.
May 3rd, 2024. So you said it came out after EBO 1?
Yeah, I believe it was like right after EBO 1.
So if EBO 1 came out in what's it called? Here we go. PRBO 1 came out November 8th. So this is like, Nationals last year was in January. So this is November. This is 10 months after Nationals, okay? Let me paint you guys the picture. I've always been into One Piece. I was in it at the start, and then I fell out of it. I got back into it. I built 2 decks. I built 2 max rarity decks because, you know, I have a problem. But I built these decks like fairly cheap, because like I built them while card prices were rising. So like I got in before they like exploded. To put it in perspective, when we went to Nats, I took my One Piece decks with me, not to play One Piece, but because the prices of my decks were so much compared to how much I had paid to build these decks, that I was like, if I can sell these decks, I will have plussed so much. And I did. I listed it, and there was a guy who said, I'm at the event. I will, we can meet up. I'll take a look, you know, make sure all the cards are in good condition and getting everything, yada, yada, whatever. And I will send you money right now. I sold my Sakazuki and my Katakuri deck cumulatively for like close to $2,500. I had only paid I don't even think I paid close to a grand, like maybe a grand at most, 1,200. Like I plussed big time, because Katakuris, those were like $120 cards. Kuzans and Borsalinos, those are SRs that were at 60, 80, $100. And the problem with One Piece early on is because the game exploded in popularity so much, the boosters, everybody was just buying boosters, and boosters were just hard to come by. So those cards now are like dirt cheap. Your reprint Kuzan, it's like $7 for the alternate art, and then of course you can get the base art, but the reprint Kuzan is like $7. I'm talking about the 4-drop. The 10-drop is like $5. A bunch of cards are like extremely cheap, and it really did like reset the market for players.
Kuzan, the SR Kuzan,
yeah,
that's like a $50 card now.
So the secret Kuzan 10-drop, he's like $5. And then the alternate art Kuzan, because what they did also for the reprint set was they gave some of the cards that they were reprinting unique alternate arts.
So I'll elaborate. What they did is every card in the set, if it was a common or an uncommon, I believe it got a Jolly Roger foil, and even some of the rares got Jolly Roger. I think it was common and uncommon rares got Jolly Roger foils. And then some cards, what they did is they got a full alt art of the card with the reprint and a Jolly Roger foil. And then that full art alt art, they also got a unique alt art as well. The sets are huge. So there were cards that were getting reprinted, like not once in the set, but like fucking 5-6 times in the set. Like they were making texture photos of event
you could
cards.
pull this card 3 times.
Like it was, they were reprinting, like, and that was the best way to do it because it dropped all the prices dramatically, but it still made people want to chase the set because there were new alt arts.
Alt arts.
Those alt arts still held value. Like the alt art from PRB for Kuzan, that's still a $20+ card. So it's not like the alt arts tanked dramatically either. Like that set is still worth a lot of money.
Right.
And I don't know how they're gonna do it. Like I hope that they do something similar in Digimon, because what they did, they reprinted all those mangas, right? But then they made these special gold Dawn cards that were hard to pull as well. Those are worth money. So I hope that they do something similar where we get like gold eggs or something. You know, like we get gold versions of eggs. Like that would be sick. Something cool.
We haven't, right? So One Piece got that reprint set, and they were all of what, 5? I think all of like 6 or 7 sets,
like
7 main sets deep.
Maybe 7 sets deep. Yeah.
We are about to be 22 main sets with 9 side sets. We are about to be 30 sets deep with having only gotten 1 major fail of a reprint set and some Alam packs and event packs to suffice for other types of reprints. So realistically, there's such a large pool of what Bandai can do when it comes to this reprint set that I really do hope this is the instance where you're one company, right? Yes, there's a separate Digimon card game team and a One Piece card game team, but you need to be looking at what the other is doing. One thing I hate right now as a competitively minded player, as a competitive player, is that they took away serials from us. And sure, cool, we got serials in BT20. Did we get any in BT21, Dan? Or was it just 2.5? I don't remember.
2.5.
So we didn't even get serials in 21. We just got SPs, and the SPs are nice, don't get me wrong. But you took away serial cards from us. We don't get serial cards in the set. The pricing for regionals, realistically speaking, is lackluster. So what are we paying $30 for? What are we playing for? What is the drive here? Sure, go to nationals. There's cool nationals pricing to top for, but in comparison, it really makes me question, like, why aren't you guys looking at what not even everybody else, forget everybody else. Why aren't you guys looking at what your team 2 floors down across the hall is doing? I hope they do that with this reprint set, because the One Piece reprint set was so huge. It is still an expensive thing to get because it is still a sought after set, gives you a ton of staples. If Digimon doesn't, honestly speaking, like Mike said, RBO2 is going to be such a bad taste for card shops when they're looking and they're like, damn, a Digimon set named RBO2?
Let me put this in perspective. There are still RBO1 sealed boxes sitting in most of the LGSs I know of.
Yeah.
They can't even sell them for like fucking
30 bucks.
30. Yeah, like
I have contemplated. I'm like, should I buy an RB box? Because it's only 30 bucks, but just to rip. And it's like, no, I really shouldn't do that to myself because there's nothing in there. There's no incentive to want to rip the box, which is the most important thing, right? You got to appeal to the gambler in us. We're gamblers at the end of the day.
Not me. I buy singles. How many
boxes of the latest One Piece set did you buy?
The latest One Piece set? What was that? OP
11.
0. About 0 boxes.
How many boxes did you buy of?
Now, if you ask me how many blisters I bought from the Walmart, it was $200 worth.
You might as well have just bought a sealed box.
I bought. Whoa!
You should have bought 2 sealed boxes.
I got way better hits from the blisters. Like, they're right. You know, it's different. But I think the most important thing is they cannot flop this set. They cannot.
No, absolutely not.
If they fuck this up, we are never getting a reprint set ever again.
Not a dedicated reprint set. We'll keep getting it by LM and event pack and all of that shit. Dan, for Yu-Gi-Oh, I know they do the tins, but I don't know what Konami's reprint policy is. I know it's kind of like
whatever the fuck they feel.
Whatever it goes. But what is the drive for existing players? Because I think that's the biggest thing, right? Like the drive for an existing player to buy a box of the One Piece reprint set was, oh, cool, new alt arts. You can still hit mangas. There's the Gold Dawn. What's the drive for Yu-Gi-Oh, existing Yu-Gi-Oh players who might already have those cards to buy the tins and anything that's a reprint set from Yu-Gi-Oh?
I think Yu-Gi-Oh is a lot easier of a game to reprint cards in because you have way more rarities compared to Digimon, probably One Piece. I don't know much on the One Piece side because like in Yu-Gi-Oh you have your common, uncommons, rares, but you have super rares, you have ultra rares, then you have your secret rares, and then you have even like the ones that are higher ghost rares, your
Starlight rares,
you have the quarter century, which is the newer ones. So like a lot of reprint sets now, especially during the quarter century era, I guess you could say, which is this last year or so. Reprint sets are about two things, I would say. Reprinting the expensive $100 cards that was within this year. Two rarity bumping cards. Can you rarity bump cards in Digimon as easily? No, but can you? Yes. So it depends on if they're willing to do that part or not. Because again, for Yu-Gi-Oh, super easy. They made commons and like uncommon cards, century quarter rares. So like you were able to just max rarity anything and everything almost. It felt like.
Well, so was it like a cool card though?
Nah, it's just basic cards.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, like the cards they chose.
They make Dark Magician a quarter century card.
That's what I mean. Fine. Like Dark Magician, it's a cool card.
Sure, that's a fan favorite. But like even stuff that was like stupid, like I don't know, it was like
Rescue Bunny.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that got a quarter century.
I think that has a
Rescue
fucking
Rabbit?
ultimate rare. I think it has an
ultimate rare.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. But
like I think the one in the recent is called Gold something. I don't remember what the name of it was. It was like the more recent reprint set. That reprint set reprinted so many, all like staples, everything in today's game, old cards, new cards, in between cards. Yeah. And they all had rarity bumps. And so that was a huge buff for, Yu-Gi-Oh fans who love collecting TCG because you have the rarity bump on cards. So like, and I'll talk about on the other side of it in a second, but you have the rarity bump on cards. And then you also have those chase cards, like the super special quarter century that not every single card had, or they had like an alt art with a quarter century stamp on it or something. Like they did a whole variety of things so people can want to buy it. Well, on the flip side too, on some reprint sets, besides rarity bumps, they will rarity downgrade certain cards as well, so you can get a cheap version as well. Like they made Ash Blossoms commons in starter decks. You know what I'm saying? So like that was something that was accessible for everybody and anyone. So you didn't have to be, at that point. I think it was only the secret rare and the ultra rare ghost, or maybe couple more probably at that point. There was definitely a couple more versions of that at that point when they made the common version, and those were easy $70-$80 versions. They reprinted that card so many times to the ground because that card was always fluctuating from like 80 to 100. Because do you remember when it first came out, Mike? Because that's when we were playing heavy, and I pulled two of them, and that shit was like $100 card. At that time,
had zero. I was getting my ass whooped by Ash Blossom.
Yeah. Oh, you trying to roll this?
I was like, the fuck buddy? You mean you just? I was like, the fuck you mean you just Ash Blossomed me?
You just played on my turn? Stop it.
I also want to just give some insight for anyone who doesn't play Yu-Gi-Oh or card games that have like rarities like that. It's not the same thing as Digimon, where you have a common, uncommon, rare, super rare, secret rare, and
that's correct.
Like it's not the same thing. when we say that there's a fucking quarter century version of Ash Blossom, all that means is that the card has better foiling. That is what that means in Yu-Gi-Oh.
No alternate art.
It's harder to pull. It's not that like
the last couple years, I would say, they started doing a lot more like all arts besides just your Dark Magician Blue Eyes and Dark Magician Girl, because those are probably the top 3 you see at like different all arts. But they started doing all arts for like other cards, like even like more modern cards, like IP Masquerania.
Technically, Ash Blossom has an altar.
It does have R. Yeah, it does. That's what I'm saying. Like, it started more recent. Like, they started doing that for a lot more recent cards, because I think I have it. The one that showed the feet on it.
So glad that they got rid of that they did it. That there are 2 versions of Ash Blossom, because the altar is some fucking straight up pedo shit. I'm gonna just be fucking for real, bro.
Yeah, the one with the feet showing. Yeah.
Yes, bro. It's some creepy ass shit.
It is.
A whole nother discussion. But anyways, so I just wanted to clarify that, like, in Yu-Gi-Oh, it's different. Like, if a card and a lot of these money cards that get reprinted, they usually are in a set, and they're usually the secret rare of the set, which means it's really hard to pull. But
do you only pull like 1 per case, or can you pull multiple per case?
No.
Okay.
No. So the thing is, in Yu-Gi-Oh, I mean, in Digimon, you're guaranteed in a set 2 secrets. What is it? 12 SRs and whatever after that. I forget what the number is for the SRs. Yu-Gi-Oh, you have like sometimes in a set is like 4 secrets, and then you have like 8 ultras, and then like, you know, like 12 super rares and so on. And it continues whatever the number is. I don't remember the number. It's not always 2. It can be 2 only in certain sets, like the smaller size sets, but the bigger sets, the more main sets, I think they're like 3, 4 sometimes. And it's random. So like obviously in a box, you're only guaranteed 1 secret, I believe it is, or 2 secrets max. And so it's harder to pull certain cards. And usually the secret rare is not like a boss monster. It's a
the card you need to play the deck, bro. It's like the searcher or your starter or your combo. So
that's why those cards are always more expensive, because like, you want to play this deck? You need to spend more money, because you need 3Ds and as a starter of your deck, so you gotta have it.
Or it's like
a struggle to get at one point.
Yeah. Or it's like the new spell or trap card that you have to play into the format.
Right.
Like
Lightning Vortex
Permanence or something. Yep. Lightning Vortex, another one. Bro, Lightning Vortex. Oh my god.
That was like
that card.
50.
I think it was more, bro. I think it was 200 or something.
It could have been, yeah. I do remember it being crazy high when it came out. It might have been during like COVID era. That's why I don't remember right now.
It was right before COVID. I think.
That's what it was. Okay.
It was like right before COVID. Yeah. So I just wanted to clarify that though. Like the rarities in Yu-Gi-Oh are weird.
Yeah, you have 1,000,001 rarities. So like when it comes to Digimon, how do you entice people to want to buy a box of cards, old cards that are like common, uncommons, rares? If you don't do anything with them, they did a little when they did RBO1. If you remember, they did the promo Agu and Greymon. They made the arts for those.
I think every card was foiled for RBO1, right?
Not every card. It was certain cards that had the foiling. Okay. I don't think it was every card.
I'm pretty sure it's every card.
I think it is.
I'm pretty sure it's every card.
I definitely went through. Because I just went through it all the other day. I don't remember it being all foils.
No, they should all be foils.
I think the way to entice people though is not
color
make
borders
it
again.
Color borders or alternate foiling. Like in One Piece, I said we had the Jolly Roger foiling, which is just the Jolly Roger flags printed on the foiling, and it looks really cool.
Yeah,
for
that's
Digimon,
one thing.
You could do Digivice foiling. Yeah, that would be fucking sick.
Or
dude.
you could do like I think it's probably the same concept, but like if you remember the and Yu-Gi-Oh, they had at one point they had like a weird foiling for like basic cards where it was like a little like a little shine with like stars in the background.
Yes,
like you something like something like that.
That was the dueling. That was the dueling.
Yeah.
I forget what that was called. I don't know if my camera's gonna pick it up. I don't think it's light enough, but there's like
you can see different the glare
foiling. Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. The foiling that they do, and those are just like. They're super cheap. They're not expensive, but it's just I can rarely bump my older cards now. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be like one of the biggest challenges for Digimon, because compared to like Yu-Gi-Oh and even so like with Yu-Gi-Oh, like a lot of the cards that get reprinted, they're like staple cards. Yeah, sure, they're staples for like one deck, but some of them you can take into multiple decks, like the Ash Blossom and stuff. For One Piece, Kuzan, that's just a generically good black card that you can play in any black navy deck or just any black deck if you had really wanted to. Digimon's different, right? Because if you reprint something like obviously Ruin Mode is going to be fine. Like people would buy the set inherently if they're going to be able to pull Ruin Modes and Omni X's and Medieval Gallant mods and stuff. But what about some of the cards that are expensive? But go ahead, Mike.
Sorry, but that Kuzan, right? That is a card that's still seeing play. That
right.
Aluchi deck that played 4 of those Kuzans just won a championship series in Japan. Like, I need them to reprint cards that fucking matter. I need Omni X reprints.
When was that reprint reprints. Set announced for One Piece? Like, how long in advance did you know about it?
A couple months. I mean, we just got. So I'll give you an example. PRBO2, right? PRBO2 right now is doing kind of reveals right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just started getting them like maybe 2 weeks ago, and it's going to release in Japan, I believe, I think it's end of July, actually. I think it releases in Japan July 26th, and we just started getting reveals like a week or two ago. It will release here in English in October.
And when did you first hear about PRBO2?
We've known about it, I think, right around the same time that they announced the fucking I think it was Bandai Card Game Fest or whatever, because it was right when they announced that we were getting set rotations.
Oh, okay. So basically, you said like October.
No, that was a Card Fest. That was after that.
Whatever that big event was.
That was February, March. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, that was Worlds. It was still a Card Game Fest, but it was Worlds because they had all the announcements. So let's say March, and then you said it's coming out in October
for us, but it's releasing in Japan at the end of this month.
So that means there's a 7-month gap between the announcement and the set dropping. If we assume the same thing for PRBO1 came out and it was still a hit. And the problem with RBO1, there was just as big, if not a bigger gap in RBO1 coming out. And I know when the new game designer came in and took over, he said part of the reason he did RBO1 was because the Japanese market, those cards that were reprinted were expensive. And I hope that's like another big thing for this reprint set. Now that we're unified, a lot of the decisions, I said this at the beginning of the year, and Dan will remember me saying this. 2025 is the year of Digimon. I mean, that much is true so far. It is definitely the year of Digimon, but it is also the make or break year for the Digimon card game. And the reason for that is because of decisions like this. A decision like this will make or break what the card game means for players, realistically speaking. The fact that we're unified means that they need to be looking at both metas. We got our first unified ban list, on unification. And for the most part, I would say that, I think we said the ban list was maybe like a 8 out of 10 for the most part, maybe somewhere around there. The real big test is coming up soon when we get this inevitable second ban list, whenever it might happen, and what happens with this reprint set, because we're unified metas now. We're playing the same exact cards, but we don't necessarily need the same exact cards. I don't know what the price of cards is over in Japan, and I don't have a good source to go look them up. But I know I can speak for us over here playing the English card game that Medieval Gallantmon is a $74 and $100 card. Is it the same in Japan? If you're a Japanese player, you're playing the Japanese card game anywhere, let us know. Is Medieval Gallantmon an expensive card for you? I don't know. If it's not, that could be a problem, because it means that it might not get a reprint. But that's something that they need to factor in when they do the reprints. Is this something that both markets need? Is there cards that one market needs that the other doesn't need? And it's not to say like we should get region exclusive reprints, but there needs to be a balance for both markets getting the reprints that are necessary. Because obviously with One Piece, when they reprinted everything, they didn't just choose everything high rarity and put in the set. No, they chose everything from here to the sun. And I'm sure they looked on the secondary market. And in the planning that's going on for this reprint booster, they need to be looking at Digimon's secondary market, because our secondary market is something. Shademon's, the price has come down from it being like $60-$80, but those are still $35. It's actually like a $40 card. 32 for the non-color border and basically 40 for the color border, which is way better than what it was, but it could use more. Or Protoform, which is a card that is now for us, quite literally, a year and a half old, is 30, 30, 30, and 54. Like, I don't know if this card is expensive in Japan. I would assume it is, because I remember when Dan and I had the interview with East was like, y'all need to pick up Ruin modes. Y'all need to pick up. So I know Ruin mode was expensive for them at one point. That was over $100 in Japanese currency. I believe Protoforms were expensive because that was another card that East said to pick up. So that was definitely over, let's say like $40, $50 in Japanese currency. But what is going to be the philosophy? And unfortunately, we're not going to get that level of transparency from Bandai when it comes to these reprints. So it's kind of just something that we have to hope that they listen for. But while I'm on that topic and I'm remembering, we did get a very cool announcement. We didn't really get to talk about this because we didn't pod since the announcement of it and the rescinding of this. But Event Pack 8 was not modified because we're still getting Event Pack 8 in all of its shitty glory. But Bandai put out an announcement. I'm not sure if I can find it in time, but they put out an announcement and said, we hear your complaints and we understand where you guys are coming from. Therefore, we are going to add the previous event pack to the prizing pool for the upcoming regional season. So it wasn't like a major win. A major win would have been like a complete revamp, but obviously that's tough, right? They already designed Event Pack 8. So it's already went to print. They've already got everything packaged and sent out and yada, yada. But a slight win because they acknowledged us, which is a win in and of itself. And they did something to try to improve the situation. So still a win. It's cool that they've acknowledged the complaints, right? Because I said it to Dan on that day. I was like, all right, I'm quitting competitive Digimon for the time being because this ain't it. And then like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, they came out and said this. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It was all over Facebook, all over Reddit, all over Discord. Everybody was upset about this. Shoot, DigiDane made a video about it. Mario made a video about it. Like, nobody was happy about this. And for what it's worth, the entire reason that event pack was printed is because, first of all, guys, guess what? We're unified. And what unification means, like you guys wanted, we get everything that is the same. Now, yes, I know they did region exclusive alt arts for BT21. Let's look past that. Like, let's look past that. For their tournaments, this is probably the easiest way for them to do it, is to just say, all right, cool, everybody's going to get the same exact pricing. We print one in essentially 3 or 4 different languages, because I believe it's Korean, Chinese, Japanese, and English. So we print the same cards just in 4 different languages, and we ship them out to all the TOs, all the distributors. So the reason that we got that event pack was because in Japan, those those promo cards were apparently hard to come by. They didn't get those as like part of their Tamer, I forget what they're called over there, but whatever you get for participating in locals, which is kind of crazy because like, why didn't they? Well, if we were truly unified, why aren't they getting the same tournament promos that we're getting? Are they not getting enough of them? I don't know. I don't know enough about the situation to speak on that. But I can understand it from that business perspective that they are just trying to print one thing to give to everybody. It's just, it sucks, right? Because this is the problem with unification. We're all going to get the same stuff, like it or not. So I know a lot of the One Piece players feel the same way because they're not unified, but they will be unified next year. I don't know what Japanese One Piece pricing looks like at all, but I know English One Piece pricing is fucking baller. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle it, but I'm also interested to see what happens next year once Bandai's in full swing of unification, because I like Digimon. I do. I enjoyed playing it yesterday at locals. But like realistically for me, competitively speaking, sometimes it's just not it. And it's not because I don't enjoy the meta. That's not it at all. I'm a player. I need to be rewarded for doing well. I remember very fondly. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Oh, he just dipped out, bro. He's back.
I remember very fondly 2 years ago when I won regionals with Examon. And the only thing that I have that reminds me of that regional win is this Jesmon mat. That doesn't even say that I'm a regional champion. It doesn't tell me any of that. It just says Digimon Card Game Championship. It's a unique mat, so there's that. But this is all I have for it, and I will never use this mat. And the reason I will never use this mat is because during that time period, I got a set of cards that said Regional Champion. Do you guys want to know what cards I got?
Probably the worst cards that they could have printed for that run. Dude. That was brutal.
I got XVmon, Shoutmon King version.
Oh. You got the worst XVmon I think that's ever been printed.
Let me rephrase. That was, do you remember which XVmon that was? I think it was the
starter deck.
Starter deck?
Wasn't it EX3
one? It was starter deck XVmon, I'm pretty sure.
No, because that's the good one. The starter deck one. No, that's the bad one. You're right. It was the starter deck one. Yeah. So
it's starter deck 9 XVmon. It's the one where when you Digivolve, if you have a green Digimon to play, reduce its cost by 1. Yep. And then when attacking, it gains plus 1000 DP for the turn. It's fucking absolute trash. I could probably buy a championship one for $20.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna pull them up on TCG Player right now. So the cards that I got the Agunimon from BT4. I got the Shoutmon King version from BT12, which was actually a good card at the time. So okay. I got the no, those are after me. I got the, for some reason, BT2 Geo Greymon for Shine. I got the, for some reason, Promo 10 Greymon that was mostly used in Agu Bond that just says, if this Digimon has Agu in source, it gains Sec +1. I got that shitty XVmon that Mike is talking about. I got a shitty BT8 Battle Gamamon. I don't even like Gamamon. And I got the shittiest Gamamon of them all in Battle Gamamon. And I got the shitty EX2 Growlmon. All regional stamp. And I was like, I don't play Hunters. And all these other cards are trash. They're not even nice. They weren't even alt arts. They were just color borders. At least the people who won regionals after me, they got unique arts, which was phenomenal. So you know what I did for myself? I went out and I bought 2 Emperor Greymon Champion stamps because I deserve that. Because I didn't get anything good. Luckily, I was able to sell my packs for some money. Somebody paid like somewhere between, I can't remember, somewhere between 300 to 500. So like I made out good considering what the cards were. But like this is all I have left of that win. And it sucks. Like this is all I remember from it. Meanwhile, in One Piece, I'm not even going to talk about what they get. But trust me when I tell you, you remember when you win a regional in One Piece. Shit, you remember when you top 16 a regional. Shit, you remember when you top 32 a regional. Top 64
you kidding me, bro? just for participating in a regional in One Piece, you get better pricing. Right off
You
the
get
bat.
6 booster packs.
6 booster packs. Yep.
And it's the same entry price.
Yep.
Now, yes, I know they get more players because it caps very easily. But like, Digimon events cap. I mean, the online events just went up this weekend, and both online events are sold out. 256 player caps. And the Virginia regional, I know there are still tickets open, maybe like 74 or so. It's not bad. It's just, I don't know. I'll see where the year takes us. I'm going to stop rambling. We're at an hour 45. So it's about that time where we wrap up and end the pod. So do we have any parting words for our listeners, guys? Don't say those words, Mike.
See you guys next time.
Yeah. I'll give you one last pod to say it. Go ahead, say it, Mike.
Can I? Really? Wrap it before you tap it, baby.
There you go. There you go. And so thank you guys for listening to today's episode of DigiPod, the digital podcast. Remember, if you like this, do drop a like, drop a comment letting us know what you thought, and also subscribe so that you know when future videos come out. But until we talk to you guys the next time, peace out.
Peace.
Catch you on the next one.